هذول اللي وراهم اللي يقوموا بالعمل هذا يعطينهم حبوب راهو مش بإرادتهم. إذا لم يتحقق كل هذا أنا بعد ذلك سنعلن الزحف، سنعلن الزحف المقدس. أيوة، وأنا أراه معمر القذافي قائد أممي، أنا أدافع عني الملايين، أنا سنوجه نداء للملايين من الصحراء إلى الصحراء، وسنزحف أنا والملايين لتطهير ليبيا شبر شبر، بيت بيت، دار دار، زنقة زنقة، فرد فرد، حتى تطهر البلد من الدنس والإرجاس. لا يمكن نسمح لليبيا تضيع بين يدينا بدون مبرر في غوط الباطل. من يسمح بهذا؟ أنا معي الملايين ومعي الله الذي نصرني على القوة العظمى الكبرى. معي الملايين مش من الداخل، معي الملايين من الأمم الأخرى. أنا نريد أن نوجه نداء إلى كل ملايين الصحراء، من الصحراء إلى الصحراء حتزحف الملايين، الملايين تزحف وما يقدر حد يوقفها. بسرعة انقذوا نفسكم قبل لا نعطي إشارة الزحف المقدس. الليلة زحف سلمي، الليلة زحف سلمي من الداخل، من داخل المدن، من داخل القرى، من داخل الواحات، لإنقاذ أطفالنا والقبض على اللي يغرروا بأطفالنا. هذه الليلة تعملوها الليلة وبكرة تطلعوا للشوارع. أما بعد إذا كان ما فيش هذا، في زحف من الداخل تعرفوه هذا الزحف منين يأتي. وبعدها فيه الزحف الأممي اللي أنا أقوده، لأن ليبيا تهم كل الأمم، ليبيا مثابة عالمية. أنا قاعد هنا ما يكذبوش عليكم، أنا نمشي لفنزويلا والله أنا نخلي جثمان الشهيد عبد السلام بومنيار أول شهيد سقط في الخمس عام 1911 ونعدي لفنزويلا والله يكتب علي تاريخه. أخلي المجاهد محمد عبد السلام بومنيار في قبره في الهاني، والمجاهد الشيخ السعدي بومنيار قبره في منيدر والله ونمشي. تصدقوا ها اول حاجه هذه الكذبه بتاعهم. شفت مش امس قالوا لكم القذافي في فنزويلا وهذه قاعد. هذه المحطات العربيه اكبر عدو مشمته فيكم، تبغيكم تدمروا النفط وتدمروا الحريه وتدمروا السلطه الشعبيه وتدمروا ليبيا، وما عاد تبدا ليبيا قلعه عالميه ومغتاظين منكم عشان كان يشوفوا فيكم. بارك الله فيكم يا اخوتنا في قطر، بارك الله فيكم يا اخوتنا في قطر. هذه اخرتها، هذه الماء والملح اللي بيننا وبينكم، هذا الدم والاخوه اللي بيننا وبينكم. زوروا في كل شيء علينا بدل ما تكونوا معانا تكونوا ضدنا. لمصلحة من؟ بالله لمصلحة من؟ قد تندمون يوم لا ينفع الندم. الذي بيته من الزجاج لا يرجم الناس بالحجارة. من أنتم؟ دقت ساعة العمل، دقت ساعة الزحف، دقت ساعة الانتصار. لا رجوع، إلى الأمام، إلى الأمام، إلى الأمام. ثورة ثورة
إلى الأمام، إلى الأمام. من أنتم؟
الله أكبر،
الله أكبر.
So, I've spoken on this before. I'm going to speak on this again. I made a lot of videos about women, as many of you know. And I've got to give them a little bit of credit because, to my recollection, I haven't seen any woman, any female, challenge the things I've been saying in the comments or anywhere else for that matter. The closest thing to it was a phone conversation I had with a woman who was basically silent about the things that I had to say about feminism until they applied to her church. But I haven't seen any women try to contradict what I'm saying in my videos. I haven't seen them try to make an argument, and there's two reasons for this. One is my argument is very well made, you know. How arrogant, how close-minded, how foolish would a woman have to be to say that I'm wrong when the argument is clearly undebatable You know, even as a great debater, I couldn't see a way to argue my debates. I always make them so that to any intelligent mind, there is no argument. That's how my videos are made. To any intelligent person, there is no argument to be made. Okay, to any clear-thinking, intelligent person. Of course, people have complexes, and they'll get upset by it, and they'll try to think of ways to get around it. But to any clear-minded, intelligent person, there's nothing to be said about it. So that's the first and foremost reason why no woman has said anything. And I've made a good, I don't know, probably about around 100 videos about feminism and women. There's a lot of them. And some of them have gotten a couple hundred views, and obviously the feminist title is going to attract some women. And nothing. The second reason is that for most of them, there hasn't been that many women watching them. A lot of my viewers are the normal viewers and are victims of gang stalking. And they know when you've been socially isolated by the gang stalkers that women are contributing to it by default, by, I'll call it Americanism, westernization of women, westernism, Western culture, mainstream American culture, gold diggers. We all know how it is. There's not really an argument about that. Women themselves don't want to be the dumb bitch who says, no, we're not like that. You're starting to see a shift from women saying we're not all like that. I think they call it a Nawalt. Not all women are like that, to trying to justify it. It's quite funny. You're starting to hear the slut-shaming group of the feminists starting to drown out the don't objectify women in a slutty manner group, It's a sign of immorality. It's a sign of the times, But I got to give them that credit, One of the main reasons I made this video was to give myself plenty of time to put clips from other videos. I made a video before this where I was going to put the clips that went over on the other video, which I need at least 5 minutes for. But I ended up making it about like 30, because I put 2 clips in the video, the Malcolm X grandson video, and so it ended up being like 13 minutes or so. I didn't have enough time to put the clips in the end, so I'm going to make sure I have enough time on this video. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up. So women have gained a slight bit more respect from me because of that. Because it seems that they are silently and passively acknowledging their error. And they understand that my videos are part of the just recompense, are part of the just comeuppance, the just karma, if you will, for their errors, the just punishment, the just correction. So, I thought I'd point that out, It's funny, while I'm saying this, what do you have right here, The Witcher, on my Carl Jr. cup, Talking about a sign of the times, people's infatuation with witches and and the occult. Never underestimate the fascination for the occult and why it is there, why it has been forced on us, pushed on us, impressed upon us. Never underestimate that, because there's a bunch of occult scum who are into the the magical world of Disney, the magic behind McDonald's and what have you, Fantasia and the witch movies and horror movies and all this stuff, For those of you who doubt the prevalence of the occult and the ubiquitous phenomena of occultism and witchcraft, just fucking think for a second. It's everywhere. This love for it is that, where did this love come from? It came from the people who researched it. Who makes these horror movies? People who researched the occult, who said, we can put this in a movie. Or, now let's put this in a movie. It's most likely the latter rather than the former. Ain't that a bitch? But anyway, I wanted to, the main purpose of the video was about women. Let me leave it at that. Yeah. I wish from the bottom of my heart that you women will change. What I see is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of unattractive women who say, I know how you feel. And all the guys who make the argument that I make, you're going to see a lot of unattractive women come out the woodworks and say, I agree totally. And some of them will go one step further. They'll say, it's the attractive women who do that. Or, you shouldn't judge women by their looks. And it goes back to my argument, which destroys that argument, which is everybody deserves their equal. Whether or not we live in a materialistic society or not, you deserve your equal and you shouldn't settle. I'm absolutely right about that. And anybody with half a brain and up knows that I'm right about that. And this is part of what they're doing too. Not only are women naturally coming out the woodworks like that, but some women see what's going on and they're taking advantage. Like, oh, what's going on here? We have a good-looking guy who's having trouble dating for whatever reason, especially and including gang stalking. Well, let me, come into the picture. Let me take advantage. And then women are going to turn around talking about we take advantage of them. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Let me finish this video by adding this clip I just made while I went out to upload the videos, realizing this topic would contribute greatly to the video that I'm about to upload. You see, the first thing I want you to consider is that about 80% of the most righteous men dress very humbly. They do not dress in the way of the white-collar workers, for example, people on TV and soap operas, what have you. They dress like me, not necessarily in a kung fu outfit, but in a very humble way. Now let's explore this. Who are the people who are working in soup kitchens, who are spending a lot of time doing charitable volunteer work and this and that? Are they rich people who dress nice, or are they people who dress very humbly with a lot of humility? Now, another way to look at African American culture and look at African culture. Who is more, generally speaking, who is more righteous and who dresses nicer? Okay? Most of you probably don't know the answer, so I'm going to give it to you. In most African nations, unless they've been highly westernized, like South Africa in the cities, more specifically, I'm talking about Africans in the countries and, in the country area, and poorer Africans. The most righteous Africans are people who dress very humbly. The most spiritual. Look at that church in Ethiopia where they carved the whole church out of one rock. These are very humble people. Look at how a monk dresses. Compared to one of those fancy schmancy evangelical preachers on TV or something. The most righteous, 80% of the most righteous people, maybe even more, dress very humbly. So what happens when women judge people on how they dress? Now, I was thinking earlier, if I dress in a tuxedo, I spend, about $2,000, which I have much more than that, to, pimp my ride, and I started hollering at women, I would either get rejected, or I would get their number or something. And if I got their number, it would be because of perceived wealth. The same reason why women stay with their husband, because they think he's headed for great things. The same reason why some of the women who don't stay with their husband divorce their husband, because they believe that he's not going to do much better and it's time to cash in. So you got to understand that this is horrible for society. It's horrible individually. It's horrible sociologically. It's horrible politically, economically, and spiritually. You might say, why economically? Isn't it good for the economy to have women dating rich men as part of the incentive? No. Not when you compare the lost tax revenue for men who are in the proletarian class. Because one of the main things that inspires men to go out and get money is having a good woman to provide for. This reminds me of one of the candidates for sheriff who ran against Laurie Smith. He was a guy who grew up poor, and one of the decisions he made to become a sheriff deputy was based on the need to provide for his family, for a woman that he perceived as good. Whether she is or not, I don't know. But I got to cut this short. I'm running out of time. I just thought that all these points had to be made. You have to truly understand why I'm right. You have to truly understand why I cannot be harsh enough on women. And I'm very sad to say that if they didn't listen to Jesus, they're probably not going to listen to me. So it makes sense to be harsh on them than to try to change their mind, if you know what I mean. Thank you. I mean, harsh to them. Thank you.